The Battle of Ontario is back in the nation's capital. Tonight, the fourth meeting between the Ottawa Rapid and AFC Toronto. The visitors returning to TD Place for the first time since Ottawa's inaugural match back in Week 2. Welcome to NSL Soccer, presented by BMO, the official bank of the Northern Super League. I am Daniela Ponticelli alongside Jessica Lisi, former Canadian Youth International. Let's get to it. Third-ranked Ottawa coming off a loss at home tonight, facing the best offense in the league. So, Jess, you're looking at defender Chu Yeoju.
I absolutely am, Daniela. She's a fantastic player. She's composed, but also has that bite in the attack that's wanted. She's fast. She's crafty with both of her feet. But her decision-making is what really makes her stand out. Her ability to occupy space, but also to free it up for others. And there's a reason that Coach Peterson calls her an offensive weapon and views her as that. And this is exactly why she's somebody that makes things happen in the moments that it's needed.
For Toronto, Colby Barnett has been so reliable in the midfield, starting every match and playing full 90s.
Reliable is definitely the right word. She's resilient and hardworking and very dependable. She's a force on both sides of the ball. She's been crucial for them in delivery into the box because of that great left foot, as well as on set pieces, but overall a very creative, pacey, and gritty player.
Many threats on the field tonight, including the league's top 2 goal scorers. Ottawa's DB Pridham is leading the way right now with 12 goals. And right behind her, Kaylee Hunter has 9. Currently as well on a 3-match goal streak. So talk about some really hot strikers at the moment. It is K-pop night at TD Place. Fans getting set for this 4th Battle of Ontario. When we return, we'll have the starting lineups and opening kickoff in the nation's capital. Welcome back to TD Place in Ottawa for a midweek Battle of Ontario in the Northern Super League. NSL Soccer is presented by BMO, the official bank of the Northern Super League. Let's get to tonight's starting 11 for the home team. 2 changes from Saturday's 1-0 loss to Calgary. Florence Belzile gets her 3rd start, while Melanie Forbes is in for her 9th start this season.
Melanie Forbes is a determined and brave individual. She has that mentality when she goes into the attack, and she very much helps this Ottawa offense. She also has 5 assists, which is tied for first in the league right now. I also want to look at Harris. Harris is somebody that has been solid all around on both sides of the ball for this Ottawa team. She's had to step up as a leader in the back line, and she's going to have to step up today to shut down Toronto's tenacious attack.
Jaleesa Harris has been a steady presence for Ottawa this season, and we spoke with her earlier today. Jaleesa, you and Pridham are now the only ones to have started all matches for Ottawa. What is your biggest personal motivation this season?
I think it's, like we always talk about our why. and why we're out there every day. And for me, every game this season and every day at training is I just want to be able to be there for the person next to me and work hard for the person next to me. When we're out there and, 90 minutes, it gets hard. You can kind of look over to your teammates and know they're working just as hard. And that's kind of how you get through it. So for me, every day, I just want to be the best teammate I can be and continue to work hard so that I can become, stay reliable and dependent.
Very reliable indeed. Well, AFC Toronto is the leading offense right now. How are you and the team planning to manage that threat and keep control of the match?
Yeah, it's no secret Toronto has a good team and a great offense. I think we, as obviously Ottawa, we back ourselves defensively. We have strong principles. A main key for us is just communication and organization today. And, we want to play our own game as well. So trying to get into the press, stay high up the field, and keep the ball, I think those are all important points for us.
Thank you so much. Best of luck today.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
AFC Toronto rolling off a win from Saturday. 3 changes to the lineup here. Zoe Burns, her first NSL start, along with Kovacevic and Cathro.
We always look to the offensive threat that Toronto brings, but their back line, this back line unit is going to be key for them today, not only in shutting down the offensive threat that Ottawa brings, but also keeping their team compact through communication. And Soto is somebody that has actually stepped up and has done that for this team.
We had a chance to catch up with Soto before the match. Croy, your coach singled you out for how well you and the backline performed on Saturday. What does that mean to you, and how does it motivate you for today?
Really just gonna continue to work and keep my head down and get the girls around me to do the same, and just kind of keep doing what we do best, and that's stay compact and just keep working together and communicate.
Well, Ottawa has certainly shown they can score in bunches. What is the defensive game plan to keep their attack and DB Pridham under control?
We are going to stay compact, stay together, and do what we've been doing thus far this season. Going to communicate, going to stay sharp, going to be effective offensively and defensively, and just kind of play our game.
Thank you so much. All the best.
Thank you.
Well, both teams have their plans in place for one another, and there have been some big swings in these matchups. Either side delivering their biggest margins of victory against the other this season. A look there at smiling DB Pridham. She didn't score last match, and if the trend stays, she's very likely to score tonight. Taking a quick look at our officials as well. Referee Selma Flores de Roche from Victoriaville, Quebec. She works in the sports industry in Quebec, and she will be the referee tonight, along with assistant referees Gabrielle Lemieux and Camille Raymond. Fourth official, Laura McNicholas. As we get set for kickoff, it'll be AFC Toronto's ball. Jess Lisi, what do you have in mind for this match?
I think we're in for an exciting one. We've seen that the last 3 times these two teams have played, whether that was Toronto walking away with a 3-0 win or that was Ottawa walking away with a 4-0 win. There's been lots of goals, there's been lots of excitement, so I'm expecting a gritty matchup between two teams that really want this win.
You have to go all the way back to April 27th for their first meeting at TD Place. That was Ottawa's inaugural match in the NSL. They came away with the victory 2-1. Both teams scoring their franchise first goals against one another. Toronto in control. The possession game has also swung both ways in these meetings as well. Our first look at Ottawa head coach Katrina Peterson. Prides herself and her club on their organization, and that is absolutely what she'll look to get them back in the win column. This is a very big week in the NSL for Ottawa. Currently ranked 3rd. They're playing both of their higher ranked opponents, starting here with the number 1 Toronto, and they're already in the penalty area. Melanie Forbes knows a thing or two about dishing the ball. Tied for goals assist leader, but out come Toronto with great pace. It's Victoria Pickett going down hard. Battle is on. Jade Kovacevic still going for it.
You mentioned the organization, Daniela, that this Ottawa team has showcased so far this year, and that was something that in their last matchup against Calgary, they struggled with a little bit. They weren't able to dominate on the ball defensively. They were struggling to stay compact and tight in their structure, and that's something that's new for them because, again, they're probably arguably the most organized team, I would say, so far this season, in my opinion. When you see them play, you know that Ottawa is going to be a hard team to break down. They have so much variety in the attack coming forward. They make the right decisions very often. They occupy space well. They come out of space very well for their teammates. So that's going to be key for them. They have to be able to dominate on the ball today and make the right decisions when they do so.
We had our first touch from goalkeeper Melissa Dagenet. Gets the ball back. Dagenet now with her 5th straight start since Molly Erickson's injury, and it was Dagenet in making her NSL debut in what was the 4-0 victory over Toronto. It was in their 2nd ever meeting. She was in goal for Ottawa while Sierra Cotillard was the keeper for Toronto, and we get a look at Cotillard as she's back, likely looking for redemption. The only loss for the young goalkeeper, by the way, has come against the Rapid.
Coach Milanovic mentioned to us that she is somebody that carries herself with a lot of confidence, so that's not something that's weighing on her. She has the attitude to come into this and, you know, prove everybody wrong and prove just what kind of quality she has.
DB Pridham coming through, and she goes down. Of course, a constant threat is Pridham.
You see Pridham, you know that when she's in and around that box, she's going to take you on, and that's exactly what she does here, leaving Cathro not much of a choice. Cathro's caught standing still a little bit, wasn't moving her feet, had no choice but to reach her foot out, and instead of catching the ball, actually caught Pridham in the process.
Pridham has opened scoring against Toronto before. It was in the 1st minute of what was her hat-trick scoring match. Still stands as the lone hat-trick so far in the Northern Super League. Cotillard having some words with her team while Ottawa gets organized. Mina Lee.
This is a dangerous spot, Daniela, and you know that Mina is a player that can hit this, and we know Forbes is also. So whoever is stepping over this ball is driving this to goal.
Everyone's in place. Mina Lee with the kick. The wall comes in strong, not once but twice. Back in high danger territory, but it's up high that time.
Belzile not able to connect with that and keep it down, but you see here Mina takes this, she strikes this straight into the wall. Credit to the wall and the way they were set up. Obviously not very many options outside of a strike in that one, but here is Belzile trying to get on that. She does well to read that ricochet of the ball, but isn't able to keep it down.
Belzile coming in for her 3rd start in the NSL, and it wasn't what was planned initially. In fact, Stella Downing was a listed starter. She was injured during warm-up, so in comes Belzile, almost immediately having an impact. That was the case when she had her first ever NSL start. She was able to score her first goal. That was against Calgary. So making the most of the minutes you get. AFC Toronto's Marko Milanovic very pleased with his team's performance in this last Super Saturday. They are coming off back-to-back road wins. The team very strong as the visitors, already 7 victories on the road. We asked about it, Jess. What do you think the secret is, or what is it? He has no idea. He just says maybe it has to do with how together we are and the fact everything is so controlled. Either way, they love to win, and they're doing the most winning right now in the Northern Super League.
And just to add to that, one thing that Toronto struggled with early on in this season, whether the results were coming their way or not, but when goals were being scored on them, it was because of a lack of defensive discipline and everyone being on the same page, and it was a little bit too easy to break them down, specifically when looking at their back 3, and they've improved with that. That was something that Coach Milanovic mentioned to us. He thought that they had good defensive discipline and awareness in every phase of the game in this last matchup, and he thought that Soto was somebody that has stepped up to really keep their lines compact, so that's going to be massive for them today, because we do know the threat that Ottawa brings, whether that's coming from their midfield or up top with the top goal scorer in their league in Pridham, Mina, who likes to float into spaces. But Toronto's going to have to be turned on and very aware today defensively.
Well, the last time these clubs met at TD Place. Mina Lee scored Ottawa's first franchise goal, and then Desi Scott made good with the club's first game winner. And so the way it's gone in the 3 previous meetings is whoever scores first wins the match.
Oh gosh, Daniela.
No pressure. No pressure at all. Although that is a trend overall in the NSL so far, and
It's true.
It's finding that resilience and that grit for a comeback.
Some physicality from Adamek. We know we are going to get that from her time and time again. She goes 100% into all the tackles that present themselves.
Adamek from Ottawa, 30 years old. Scored her first NSL goal 2 matches back in what was a 3-3 draw with Vancouver, a high-scoring affair. Cathro gets set up. Did not start on the weekend, has a start here in the nation's capital. Scooped up by Dagenet. Dagenet with 3 wins, a draw, and 2 losses on the season. Good for 10 points. And that's what it comes down to, is how many points is your team able to collect right now. Ottawa's sitting firmly in 3rd, but if they're able to get a win here and a win against Montreal Saturday, they're suddenly in 2nd place.
I think the table is going to continue to move constantly. There's so many great teams in this league, and you just never know who's going to win what game.
And one of the challenges too is teams have played a different number of matches. Toronto has 2 more, has played 2 more times than Ottawa has. That also affects the rest of the team has. So load management will be key, both these clubs with matches upcoming this weekend. Into the 10th minute here at TD Place. Adamek with a throw-in. Finds Lee. Taken away by Kovacevic. Colby Barnett talked about how reliable she's been. And the stamina on number 31 too to play full 90s. Desi Scott, the Rapid captain, moving in.
Some great footwork to evade that pressure.
Barnett now with the throw-in. Beautiful evening in the nation's capital. Partly cloudy, 26 degrees Celsius. So it is a warm one, but not as warm as the extreme heat that's been felt across South and Eastern Ontario to start this week.
Great touch.
Now, Kaylee Hunter. Desi Scott for Ottawa. That pass to Adamek. They're not going to count it as out. It is still in play. Despite the protests, and we're seeing a lot of turnovers here in the midfield. Expect the best from both these teams. That's what they bring when they play one another. And Nikki Small, she opened scoring for Toronto on Saturday, goes down. Foul there by Emma Regan.
Looks like Gibson might have got the most of that one. A bit of a tug there behind Small, from in behind Small. This is an opportunity for Toronto to get on this. We spoke about Barnett and the service that she's able to put into the box. It looks like she might be the one standing over this, so this is an opportunity for her to get this ball in the box and get Toronto on the board early.
Gibson, the Swedish midfielder. Of course, Emma Regan, the captain for Toronto. Both wearing number 8 today. In the 12th minute, another opportunity here for AFC Toronto. Crowd rallying on the home side defending here. Regan. It is far wide.
It's a good idea by Regan. Just didn't execute it, I'm sure, as well as she had it in her head. There was no runner at that far post, no eagerness to get there. Just a little too far and overhit.
A little bit of a dangerous game there in close as Hunter was buzzing around. 3 straight matches with a goal scored for young Kaylee Hunter, 1 away from reaching 10 in the NSL. It was DB Pridham who did it first, reaching double digits.
Be curious to see if anybody scores the kind of goal that Hunter scored in their last matchup versus Montreal. The IQ in it and the execution of hitting that from basically center over top Karpenko was definitely an amazing goal.
Pickett with the touch, now 1v1 with Scott. Takes it away, protection. Back now to Regan. Finds Barnett moving quickly here. Barnett up the near side. Looking for some support, moves in closer, Pickett. Corey Soto, they'll send it along the center line. Sarah Rollins to Small. They have space up the middle, but quick touch there by Forbes. Disrupts the play.
Well done by Forbes to break that up. Toronto having a bit of a spell of possession, and Toronto's a team that you don't want to give that time and space to, and you do not want them to build confidence as they move the ball around and are able to control the dynamic in their favor and shift that momentum. There's a lot of back and forth right now in this first 14. Daniela, nobody has fully taken over control. We're seeing moments of both teams dominating the other, but overall a very even matchup so far. So it's about who can really take control and make the most of those moments. If it's a transitional moment, as we saw there with Forbes winning that, can they create something more dangerous out of it and continue to drive forward? Or can Toronto make sure to really secure that ball and continue to move it at pace to shift an organized Ottawa team?
Off the leg of Rollins. So Chu will just run along the sideline. Able to work in with little space. Lee all the way up and go to yard with a great play to get ahead of it. My goodness.
You see Chu find Mina here, and she's somebody that continues to show her IQ. Forbes isn't on the same page as her, is a little bit reactive in that, and that's why she wasn't able to get there. But Mina realizing that that's on, trying to slip that ball through instead of striking it, which most players would try to do from that distance. So just showing her quality and her IQ in that.
Great crowd at TD Place for K-pop night. Definitely want to stick around at halftime because Chu had a little fun with some of her teammates, teaching them some Korean phrases, Jess. Oh, it's good. There's some common ones and then some funny ones as well. Right now, Ottawa looking to strike first. Chu gets a touch.
That doesn't quite come together for them, but Ottawa has a lot of variety in their attack, and that starts at the foot of Harris. That's somebody that we spoke about what she does for them defensively, but that direct play from Ottawa typically is leaving the foot of Harris, and her delivery is spot on time and time again. She has that partnership with Pridham. You saw Pridham be able to get on the end of that. Just wasn't able to really make it all come together in the end, but that is something that makes Ottawa so dangerous. It's that ability to go direct when it's on and recognize that, but also they're able to move teams and manipulate teams by just possessing the ball and passing it around.
Rollins, the lofty pass. There's the whistle, of course. Kovacevic wanting another outcome there.
Seen another look at it here. just a bit of a hand on it. It's a little soft. It's a little soft, but good on Harris to go down and try to get the foul, and she does. She ends up winning it.
17 minutes into this match. Still looking for the first goal. And in the 3 previous meetings, there have been goals scored. Actually, check that. I do believe it was a scoreless first half in their first time out at TD Place. Either way, plenty of goals scored from either side, especially when you consider Hunter and Pridham alone have 3 goals scored against the other. Ottawa once more. Cotillard coming out to the edge of the penalty box.
You're seeing a display again of what Harris is capable of, and not only being able to strike that ball and execute it, but the recognition of realizing that Forbes is on. She likes her chances and she's going to try it, and you're seeing another look at it here. She looks up, she smacks this forward, and Forbes does well to get there, but Cotillard just gets there moments before her, keeping it out of the danger zone. But those are the moments that they have to make the most of and continue to try.
Cathro through the middle to Hunter. Mina Lee in that battle. Will be Ottawa's ball.
Seeing the footwork of Kaylee Hunter and how good she is in those tight spaces, which just shows you why you can't give her any time and space, especially when she's running at your back line.
Lee looking for room. Up now to Adamick. In. Forbes was there. Quick work by Belzile to get it back to Adamick this time. Barnett rather defending for Toronto.
That's well done by Adamick to get forward and provide that flank play. Mina with that nice little slip ball through. You see another look at it. Looking up, recognizing that there's too many numbers in the middle. It's too compact. Adamick making that overlapping run and getting that ball in, but Soto doing well to deflect that out. But you saw Pridham standing right there. She wanted it. You saw Forbes getting into the box. So as long as Ottawa has those numbers in the box, they're driving forward and they're getting the deliveries in, something is going to happen.
First corner of the match in the 20th minute for Ottawa. Belzile ran it along the ground for Mina Lee, and now Lee, and caught up in this battle, still manages to find Forbes. Bit of a different take there, Jess, on the corner.
Yeah, you're seeing the play on the floor here, but Mina continuing to drive forward and make things happen for this Ottawa team. Melanie Forbes also very active and trying to get on the ball and create chances and dangerous play.
Cotillard into the midfield, Small puts it up ahead for Hunter. Dagenet just snuffs that opportunity out.
Nikki Small is a player too that has proven to be super impactful for this Toronto team throughout the entirety of the season. She's somebody that they've been able to rely on, but she makes things happen and she works very hard defensively as well. But offensively, we saw her score that goal in the last matchup. She's a player that likes to take control and take charge in helping Toronto create dangerous opportunities.
So far, Ottawa leading possession 63-37, but Toronto has been able to make the most of opportunities. They were trailing possession on the weekend, didn't even have a shot on target before they scored their first. Hunter with a header! It's a goal for Toronto! They strike first. Hunter's 10th goal in her NSL campaign.
Just as you were speaking about it, Toronto does not need momentum to be on their side to make things happen. It's about players like Hunter making the most of the moments and the opportunities that they're given. This is fun. Hunter going over to Okoronkwo, a bit of a celebration. But this is a great ball in by Cathro. Perfectly placed. Hunter peeling off there to be able to time it, come back in and head that home. Great delivery in. And great finish by Hunter. Places that right by Dagenet.
Ashley Cathro's first goal assist of her NSL career. So now 4 straight matches with goals by Kaylee Hunter. She still remains, a response nearly for Ottawa. The Rapid looking to respond quickly. These two clubs have never been tied in a match so far in this young Northern Super League. Just going to mention that Hunter remains the lone goal scorer for Toronto at TD Place. She put away the club's first goal here. Lee in for Forbes! My goodness!
Seeing some frustration on Forbes' face, but Ottawa is bringing it. They have the correct response to the goal, but we're going to see it again here. She is just slightly offside. It looks pretty close from that angle, but you do see she's just about half a step ahead of Soto there. But nonetheless, this is what Ottawa needs to continue to bring, that mentality to drive forward and try things. They're a team that has such great variety in their attack, but they're able to make things happen. They're able to deliver, so it's a matter of turning that on.
2 quick chances, now possibly a third within a minute since Toronto scored. And that has truly been the difference for AFC Toronto. It doesn't matter if they're trailing possession. They find those moments, they capitalize. Control is important. And we always know coaches want you to win in every single way. They want you to win the possession game, be in control the entire time, but Hunter finds a way. Pridham, expect her to make something happen as well for her team. Scott, and a bit of a slide there for Harris, so the pass doesn't connect, but Ottawa leads the NSL in passing accuracy, just under 80%, Jess, at this time, and a great stat when you look at a team just wanting to build up. They also have the best goal differential right now. Another great stat for a club that's looking to climb up the ranks.
Well, it speaks to the connection they have as well, right? You're trusting your teammate that's next to you to be in the right spot, to make the right pass, and they're a team that's been very connected, as I said, and organized from that very first matchup that they stepped out in the NSL.
Ottawa plays it back for Dagenet now in the 25th minute. Toronto leading Ottawa in the nation's capital. Looking for room here on the near side. Adamek goes down.
It's well done by Adamek to find that space and drive into it. Some physicality there. Cathro coming through her just a little bit. But this is an opportunity for Ottawa to get something in.
That one's deflected. Cotillard able now to rally, have some communication. Barnett to Cathro and back. Cathro, of course, one of the changes from the weekend's starting lineup, and that is really a big sign for AFC Toronto. They have trust in their players. They want to move them in and out of that starting 11, especially given they played Saturday. They'll play again Sunday. Pickett to Small.
Good footwork by Small.
Scott with a great through ball. Mina Lee with a soft touch, and Cotillard able to make an easy save.
That's some great combination play to lead up to that. You see the initial pass, Mina passing this through to, I believe that's Belzile who took the shot.
So now Belzile stepping up for her third start with 2 good chances. We're looking to score the equalizer, get that done early.
And And as much as there's an eagerness in wanting to get that equalizer, there also has to be a sense of balance, and you have to pick the right moments to go forward. Otherwise, you get yourself into a frantic pace and you start forcing balls and you're making the wrong decisions because you have that scoreline in your head. So it's a matter of finding the balance, keeping the ball when you have to, and picking your moments of when to really drive forward and create dangerous opportunities.
Great play there by Soto. Now Small getting to work along the far touchline. Creating some space. Ottawa, a team that plays really well at home. They have 6 victories at TD Place. Toronto, of course, they've been the road warriors. 7 wins, 7 of their 10 as the visitors. Great 1v1. Pickett. Happy belated birthday to Victoria Pickett, who turned 29 yesterday. Now Barnett coming in, a great pass, beautiful delivery. Kovacevic now, Small, patient, and the destroyer comes in. Desi Scott takes away that channel. Now Mina Lee, she's been so active already in this match.
It was well done by Desi Scott to step in there, and you're seeing in those transitional moments just how aware Toronto is of Pridham and the threat that she brings and the numbers that they have in and around her. Mina with not very many options, sort of holding that ball up, waiting for more numbers to get forward to create something, and obviously not able to create anything out of that and losing the ball in the end.
Burns finds the middle there for Pickett. The ball just staying dangerously close to that 18th yard line. Ottawa was leading possession early on in this match. Starting to feel like it might be evening out a bit more.
You're seeing Regan with the hand motions of telling everybody to just calm down, just keep it, just play. There's no reason to force things. Recycle the ball, find the moments to go forward, find your players that are making those moves to get into spaces, as Nikki Small is there, being able to split 2 players from Ottawa. And this is where you start again. You go back and you continue to recycle the ball until you're able to break lines and go forward.
Pickett right through the midfield. Plays it to the near side. Barnett in with speed. Not only speed, but patience as well. Great skill, Pickett.
Pickett is another player that does a lot for this Toronto team. She's very active in the midfield. She is great in transition. Every time there's a transitional moments, Victoria Pickett is usually the one coming at you with pace. So she's great in those moments, but she's also very organized, and she knows exactly what she needs to do in her decision making, whether she's defending or she's in the attack.
Toronto's transition game has been strong as well. The 2 scored Saturday in Montreal, a team that has conceded the fewest goals in the league still. Those came in the transition. Adamick finds Liv Scott, and a moment that went by quite quickly early on in this match as Liv Scott was assessed, she was booked rather, a yellow card. So she's sitting on 1 right now. It happened so quickly. Now Adamick plays it through. Lee, once again with the soft touch, trying to find Belzile.
It was a great give and go to start that play out by Adamick. She finds Forbes and continues her run forward, finds Mina, and you see Mina drive across. Pridham making that run the opposite way, which created some space for Mina. I would have loved to see her shoot. Would have loved to see her shoot that. Instead, she tries to find Belzile and slip her through in a really tight area. And Toronto is compact in that back line right now. They're aware of the threat that's coming at them, and they've done well to eliminate it.
Regan battling through some contact. Finds Pickett. On the attack, Toronto. Desi Scott disrupts once more. Gives Ottawa some life, headed the other way. Pridham. She sets up plenty of space here. Out now to Adamick. Good touch by Barnett. Although maybe not, some contact there for Colby Barnett, she's shaking her head saying, hey, yeah, I just need a moment here. We mentioned it off the top, Jess, a player who has only played full matches.
Yeah, she's a player that has showcased herself well this season, but so much resilience and determination from her. We've seen her wrapped up with some niggling injuries, and she's never somebody that's going to back down from going into a tackle hard. So that's just showcasing who Colby Barnett is and the spirit that she brings to the game.
You're watching NSL Soccer presented by BMO, the official bank of the Northern Super League. Can you believe it? We are in week 18. Number 1 ranked AFC Toronto taking on 3rd place Ottawa, and that could all still change. So much time left in this season.
Well done by Desi Scott to get in there and break up play before Kaylee Hunter is able to create anything.
Although Scott now hanging on to her leg, and dangerous opportunity here. Once again, scooped up, taken away by Cotillard.
Ottawa's been seeming to have a lot of success with those little slip balls. It's a matter of really executing them and finding the player that's making that run. Has to be less reactive from that player that is actually breaking the line. But the slip balls are there, the idea is there, and that's how so far they've created their most dangerous chances.
Shots on target, 1 each. Toronto making good on their first of the match, just like they did on Saturday. Chu down to Harris. Back up this time, Belzile with a great pass in for Gibson. Rollins gets ahead of Pridham. Of course, there's pressure on DB Pridham. Looking at 12 goals in the 14 matches played. It's just Pridham and Harris who have started all matches for Ottawa. And just the trend has been, if she doesn't score in one match, she will score the next. But you've said it before, it can be, that's a lot of pressure to put on a striker because it's such an exceptional stat. Kovacevic trying to get ahead.
Yeah, just to go off that, Daniela, absolutely it is. It's a lot of pressure, but I think, a player like Pridham is going to step up to the plate, and that pressure is earned, and she's definitely proven that she's capable of finding the back of the net, so I'm sure she's up for the task, but it absolutely does, take a toll. You have to be confident and in the right headspace to continue.
A turnover in close. Kovacevic, that time a stop by Dagenet.
Toronto is a team that's going to pounce. That's the best way to say this. You're going to slip up at times, but you see Gibson, the ball gets away from her. Hunter is the first to scoop that up and find Kovacevic, who isn't able to strike that well from the top of the 18, but the idea is there, and Toronto is somebody that you cannot give that time and that space to because they will create dangerous chances.
I was worried about all those passes that Ottawa was doing dangerously close to the edge of the box. Barnett quick with the throw in, trying to find the opportunity there for Hunter. Forbes. Pass to Lee, taken away by Regan. That still sets up Ottawa as Belzile, who's had chances in this match, takes it to the near side, draws 2 players away, then comes back. Belzile with the feed, it's stopped by Cotillard. And a good clear for AFC Toronto.
That's well done by Belzile to be able to get in there, show some of her craftiness. She's done very well for herself so far. You're seeing it here again. Whoop, right in between them. It makes no mistake to do that. And she, instead of shooting, she opts to cross that, and Pridham does get there, but there is an offside call in the end.
So 2 offside calls that have hurt Ottawa in this match so far. They could have been up potentially 2-0, or 2-1 rather, but this isn't a game of what could be. It's looking ahead. We're in the 37th minute here. Toronto getting on the scoreboard in the 22nd minute. A header by Kaylee Hunter. Mina Lee has been fun to watch in this match so far. She just brings such a great energy from South Korea, and You know, a very special night in Ottawa as it's K-pop night. For those who don't know, Korean pop, it's taking over the world.
She's a special player. She floats into areas, she finds the ball, she gets on it, and she makes things happen, whether that's an individual effort and she's taking a shot herself or she's slipping it through.
Toronto setting up once more. Back out, Dagenet able to get low on that, sprawl. Dagenet coming in big here. And one thing we have yet to see from Melissa Dagenet is a win for Ottawa when they've conceded a goal. She has 3 wins on the season. All of those, Jess, have been shutouts, and it started with that big 4-0 victory over Toronto. So a chance here to test the comeback kids theory. Running it in quick, though, is Zoe Burns. She's looking inwards. Has 3 Ottawa players with her right now. Regan regaining control here for Toronto. Gets it close to the 18 line and just wide that time on the far side.
Seeing that frustration from Regan there, but the idea was there. You saw some movement. Hunter trying to break that line and stay on side. The ball instead ended up being recycled back, and Regan trying to, I'm not sure if that was a strike, an attempt to strike on goal, or was trying to play it into that space for a runner like Hunter. But nonetheless, Toronto is bringing that balance right now between finding the moments of when to really drive forward and try it, and when to find and to keep the ball, and just continue to recycle and be patient.
Great goal kick there by Dagenet to get Ottawa on the move once more. D.B. Pridham. Barnett just comes right in, but some great play by Croy Soto to really disrupt the effort there by Pridham. Forbes now. That feed taken away.
One thing to point out too, Daniela, is this is where frustration is going to get the best of players like a Pridham, like a Kaylee Hunter. Every time you step into a game, these teams know the threat that you bring. They're not going to give you time. They're not going to give you space, which means that your teammates are going to be the ones that are going to be open because the attention is on you. So Pridham, you see that frustration, a bit of a shirt pull on Cathro there, but she's been very active in making runs off the ball and creating opportunities for her teammates, and that's going to be key because that frustration will get to you at times as a striker. You know they're going to do everything to throw you off your game to keep you from getting the ball in the back of the net.
You talked about the pressure she puts on herself. Ottawa's head coach, Katrina Peterson, also telling us that that's what they thrive on. And yes, they do talk about the table. They don't spend a lot of time on it, but they understand what's at stake here and a chance to just inch ever closer, potentially take over the number 2 spot right now. AFC Toronto 6 points ahead of second-ranked Montreal, but those lower-ranked teams have matches in hand, Jess. That's going to be key.
I think in any sport, pressure is a privilege, and I think that's actually probably just a generic life thing. Pressure is a privilege.
Yeah, you don't always want to see it that way, but it is a really
right, when
healthy,
you're in
positive
it,
way.
It's not the most fun thing to focus on, but Coach Peterson definitely said that they are happy with that pressure and they thrive in it, and it's something that they speak about, as you said, often, but it's not the main focus, but it is definitely a privilege in their eyes.
Well, the throw in for Mina was taken away, but Adamick able to cut through those 2 defenders. Jake Kovacevic doing a little hurdle there to get ahead. Hunter plays it back. This could be dangerous. Pridham. Croy Soto able to run it out. Pushing the ball ahead. That one just had eyes for the touchline.
You're seeing, that play in itself. Hunter attempts to turn. Liv Scott is not letting it happen. The ball goes back the other way. Pridham gets on the ball. Soto's not letting her have any time or space to breathe, to make anything dangerous happen. So you're already seeing it in these games. This is the 4th time these teams have met. They're aware of the threat that both those players bring, and these center backs are bringing it today because they are not letting either Hunter or Pridham really create anything too dangerous in the run of play.
A great start to this match. This Battle of Ontario has always lived up to the hype. Kovacevic had a look earlier that was taken away. It was a 2-1 win for Ottawa the last time they met at TD Place back in April. And then a 4-0 victory for the Rapid in June. And then last month, a little bit of redemption for AFC Toronto. A 3-0 win. That one supported by a game-winning first-half brace for Kaylee Hunter. And she's already got a goal here in this match. Now officially has scored 4 of her 10 NSL goals against Ottawa. Forbes fighting through. Forbes! And it's off the post. It's in! Ottawa makes good. What a response. They find the equalizer. Mina Lee. Brilliance.
Resilience, bravery, that's something that we know this Ottawa team has, and you're seeing it there on display from Forbes. She makes the most of that opportunity. Some frustration early on in this game, but such a great goal overall by Mina Lee. Forbes doing well to turn, take that strike. We're gonna see it here. She takes Cathro on here and strikes this. You see a bit of a pull, goes off the post, and Mina Lee is ready. Her and Pridham running at the goal, waiting for that rebound if it comes. But this is a great strike by Forbes and great individual effort and a great finish as well by Mina.
Our first ever tie game in a Battle of Ontario. Ottawa able to do that. This is Mina Lee's second goal this season. Both have come against AFC Toronto, both at TD Place. So we're talking about how Hunter performs well against Ottawa. How about Mina able to strike and be a difference maker for Ottawa? She was the opening scorer in the second half of that first ever meeting. And here she gets Ottawa's first to make it an even score. Hunter, though, looking for an even faster response. We saw how the Rapid were able to get 3 shots off in quick succession the minute after Hunter's header. Both goals off the head today, Jess. Barnett to Small. Small on a threaded through for Kovacevic. Now Barnett. Dagenet has eyes on it. Just a minute of added time. I figured it would be pretty short and sweet given the pace of play through this first half, Jess.
It's been a fun one. You know, obviously we're seeing 1 goal aside. I think that both of these teams can really pick it up in the final third as far as creating more dangerous chances and getting shots on target. But we're seeing some good possession out of both of them. There's some good opportunities being created. But again, it's the execution of that final pass, cross, and shot that right now isn't coming together fully. But we're seeing that build up. So it's just a matter of bringing that quality into the second half and bringing that mentality, because we know it's going to be a fight to the end.
And this will be, if the score stands, our first time heading into halftime between these two teams with a draw. So you have to think, you know, the discussion in the locker room and how important, of course, the next goal will be. Cathro. Immediate whistle, and that will wrap up the first half. A thrilling Battle of Ontario as it is tied at 1 each. First goal by Kaylee Hunter, helped out by Ashley Cathro, and then Mina Lee coming through for the Ottawa Rapid. Stay with us. It's a gorgeous evening in Ottawa. The NSL halftime show is next.
Oh, off the post and in. It's the goal they've been waiting for.
That is a highlight we will see over and over and over again. Rocky! That is absolutely world class. Oh my goodness.
Welcome back. This is the NSL halftime show presented by BMO, the official bank of the Northern Super League. K-pop night in the nation's capital. Daniela Ponticelli with you alongside Jessica Lisi, former Canadian Youth International. Right now, all tied up at 1. Toronto striking first, Haley Hunter, and then Mina Lee getting the equalizer late in that first half. Let's have a look at it, Jess.
Yeah, this was an exciting half. Obviously, we have a goal apiece for both these teams, but Ottawa really coming out with fire under them. They wanted to get those early goals. They wanted to finish, but it wasn't quite coming together for them. You're seeing here Belzile getting on it. She read it well. Mina's been somebody that has been super active for them. Adamek making this great run, getting the ball in, but again, it's just not coming together. The mentality's there. You're seeing some craftiness on display from not only Mina, but everyone. And then when you look at Toronto, they're a team that even though the momentum wasn't their way, Haley Hunter is going to make sure and come up big in the moments that she is called on. And Cather with a great delivery into the box. Hunter timing that, coming towards it, and getting it right by Dagenet. Just a great finish by Hunter. And Toronto is a team that is going to keep coming when they're confident. And when you look on the flip side, you see Ottawa coming back. They're trying to get something, trying to create something out of nothing at moments. Some craftiness here, some individual efforts, but overall just a very great mentality from both these sides in the first half. And then when you look at this final one, Ottawa knocking on the door constantly, some good individual effort by Forbes, and it comes off well. You see Mina making that run into the box. Another look at it from this angle. Just a great finish. 2 header goals, Daniela. You love to see it.
You love to see it. I also love the reaction from the young girls behind the goal. They're watching intensely. Of course, the crowd loving what they're seeing, supporting their Korean stars, especially on this beautiful K-pop themed night in Ottawa. Shots on target. Well, Toronto managed to tick up. They didn't start off all that hot. In fact, it was Hunter who was able to score on their first shot on target. Total shots going Ottawa's way because you think they had 3 in quick succession against testing Cotillard. Possession time a little bit more even early on. It was 60-30 or about there, 60-40. Fouls though, Toronto, it just keeps ticking up. So we'll see what the second half has in store, but it's been a thrilling Battle of Ontario so far. We didn't overhype it, Jess. It has been as advertised. Well, coming up next, the Ottawa Rapid are going to try out some Korean phrases. Oh, you won't want to miss this. It's tied at 1 in Ottawa at TD Place. for the strike. Oh, now that's a finish. Northern Super League.
It will transcend the sport, the Northern Super League, for years to come.
Well, the stars of the Northern Super League are always prepared for what happens on the field, but what about trying something a little different? Well, some of Ottawa's Korean players decided to test out their teammates with some Korean phrases. You won't want to miss this. Have a look.
안녕, your 이름은 몰리.
내 이름은 뭐?
내 이름은 몰리. 저는 지엠.
안녕하세요. 저는 추우지입니다. 오늘 제가 몰리한테 한국어를 가르쳐 보겠습니다.
I'm very beautiful, I agree.
효주는 예쁘다.
예쁘다.
Yeah.
I'm perfect? Yes,
Yeah.
I thought so too. Next.
Next. 나는 멍청이입니다.
나는
멍청이.
멍청이다.
Yeah.
I'm the smartest person in the room, I also know that. Okay.
나는 멍청입니다.
나는 멍청입니다. I already said that. Say nice things about me.
Yeah. 나는 바보입니다.
You said the same thing 3 times. Say, I'm the best chef.
나는 요리를 잘합니다.
잘합니다.
맛있게.
So good.
나는 골키퍼입니다. 골키퍼, like goalie.
Oh,
골키퍼입니다.
골키퍼입니다.
Yeah.
Perfect.
나는 방구를.
This is definitely not nice.
No. You try.
Okay.
나는 방구를 꼈습니다.
What does that mean?
냄새가 지독합니다. 지독합니다.
I just farted and
It smells delicious, actually. Not good.
나는 뿡뿡이입니다. 뿡뿡이.
뚱뚱이입니다. What is that now?
Skunk.
Stop it! Stop it.
Hi, my name is Flo, and today Mina Lee's gonna teach me some Korean. Easy.
Yes. Easy, so easy.
Okay.
나는 바보입니다.
바보입니다.
Yes, perfect.
Thank you. What does that mean?
Secret.
Hey! I'm stupid.
Another. 나는 yes, 공주입니다.
공주입니다.
공주입니다. Yeah, perfect.
Thank
yeah,
you.
It's easy.
Thank you. What does that mean?
I'm princess.
I'm princess. 나는 너를
사랑해.
Yeah. Oh, that's cute.
So cute.
So cute. What does that mean?
I love you.
Oh, cute. Yay.
Oh, we just love seeing the players connect off the field. Now, if you can't get enough of the Northern Super League, a new documentary series called The Pitch is coming out next month, and it chronicles the creation of the NSL. Here's a sneak peek.
The return home for our Olympic champions.
The United States,
Sweden,
France, China, Australia, Germany, Japan, England, Italy, all have professional leagues.
but our home and native land
Still doesn't have one.
After winning the gold
the outside world was like, okay, here it comes, like a women's professional soccer league. But we, as players, knew that it was still going to be a fight.
Women's soccer players are never just fighting for money.
To have their federation meet them this way after winning a world championship is just wild to me.
You should just be happy to be here. We're not accepting that narrative anymore. You're lucky to have us playing for you.
As late Tuesday night, it was announced a women's professional soccer league is coming to Canada.
We can build one of the top women's professional leagues in the world. You buy in now for $1 million, and you're looking at, $40 to $50 million asset in decades' time.
Do you brought fancy shoes?
Okay, I'm just trying to project business. We're looking for 8 teams. You can do it with a minimum of 6.
We're here to get membership. That's it.
She's literally working all the time.
We signed in May. It's too late.
If we didn't get this done, we weren't going to.
It's the timeline to Plan B. The pressure is on Diana right now.
We're sick of it.
I would say I've woken up every night. Oh my God, is my wife gonna do it?
I just hope that Canadians realize how big this can be if they just choose to do it.
It's time.
It's time. It's time.
Our players are ready. Our fans are ready. I strongly believe that the strength of Canadian soccer is through equality. Not women's soccer, not men's soccer, Canadian soccer.
That documentary looks amazing, and its world premiere is set for next month. We'll obviously be talking more about the pitch as we get closer and closer to that. But first, the upcoming match featuring a familiar team, Ottawa Rapid. Yes, they have a quick turnaround. They head to Montreal, at least it's nearby, in Laval, Stade Boreal. They will play the Roses, 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 Pacific, this Saturday. That's actually the first of 2 games. It's a doubleheader, not a Super Saturday tripleheader like we've seen the last 2 weeks, but it's an exciting day as the 6th-ranked Halifax will be in Calgary after that. Teams getting ready. Mina Lee, the star so far for Ottawa. I mean, Jess, we talked about what a joy she has been to be in this match leading up to her goal. It felt like it was just about going to happen, and then it did.
Yeah, she's a player that always makes things happen for this Ottawa side, whether she's on the goal sheet or not. She's contributing in some way, shape, or form. She finds the spaces in those half spaces so well. She occupies them. She gets on the ball. She's crafty. She makes those turns in tight spaces, but she also slips those balls through perfectly timed onto players' feet. And I think that that's something that makes her so special. Her IQ is amazing. She's always aware of what needs to be done. So she's definitely a special player, and I'm happy for her that she was able to get on the board and we're able to see her name on that score sheet.
How about this? Maybe a little luck in numbers here. Lucky number 13 for starts for Mina in her 14th match in the NSL, 14 being her number. Of course, the crowd showing so much love because it is K-pop night. It's all about the incredible phenomenon of Korean music. And of course, Mina is from South Korea, plays for the Korean national team. And you just have to think her fans must be so pleased to see her successful tonight. Because now we look to who could be the hero in the match overall. There is a potentially pending game winner in store here in the second half.
I think we're in for some more goals, Daniela. I said this to you in the last matchup we were on together, which was Toronto versus Montreal, and I was wrong. But today, I think I'm right.
I was going to say, you're brave going out there and saying that. Of course, Jessica Lisi, former Canadian Youth International, and I'm Daniela Ponticelli. Thrilled to be with you. Just the second time the Battle of Ontario has come to the nation's capital. have to look back 109 days ago is when these teams last met on this pitch. And guess what? Mina and Kaylee Hunter both scored in that match as well. Pridham saw some frustration early on, but a beautiful pass across the face of the goal. Melanie Forbes, number 21 for Ottawa, has also been outstanding. She got the start in this game. She's a player with 5 goal assists on the season, tied with Toronto's Nikki Small, who's hunting for the ball right now as the league leaders. Sarah Rollins needing a moment here, and another look at our match officials, led by referee Stelma Flores de Roche. During the half, mentioned beautiful weather in Ottawa. It is a gorgeous day, a little bit of cloud right now. 26 degrees Celsius, so it has stayed steady since kickoff. And just a light wind, we're talking about 10 to 13 kilometers per hour. Sun now setting.
Sounds like a lovely night.
It is a lovely night, a great, I mean, one of the beauties of the Northern Super League has also been how it has evolved throughout the seasons. Those early matches in April and May, there was lots of people huddled up. Still a little bit cold in Canada.
There's nothing better than some nice summer weather and NSL soccer, so
absolutely,
it's definitely a thrilling night.
As mentioned, 2 games coming up Saturday. Ottawa in Montreal for the first of that doubleheader, and then Toronto is actually at BMO Field for their second ever match at BMO Field in Toronto. Once again against the Vancouver Ice. You know they're going to want some redemption after a 1-0 loss at BMO to open up their NSL campaign. Small trying to drive the action to the middle, but Harris takes it away. And part of what's interesting, Jess, is trying to figure out if perhaps something had been said in the locker room during halftime. I mean, Ottawa was doing a lot right. They led possession, they led total shots. Was Toronto just a little bit more efficient with those shots on target? Hunter trying to find Kovacevic. Gibson changing the tempo. Tamina on the near side. Has Chu with her. Trades with Harris. Chu puts it up. Back out this time, played off the body of Jade Kovacevic.
You're seeing that patience of Ottawa trying to break down this Toronto team that obviously right now is a man down, and they're attempting to shift them out of position, but the structure that Toronto is staying true to has been working for them so far. They're actually able to create some opportunities going forward and finding the feet of Kovacevic, but it looks like Rollins is actually back on the pitch, which is great news for both her as well as Toronto.
Keep an eye on that. Of course, both teams needing to manage the load a little bit. Their coach is telling us that. The fact that they have those matches coming up. And for AFC Toronto, the team leading the league, they have also played the most matches. Another look there at Sarah Rollins, back on her feet. Barnett with a throw in. No substitutions yet in this match. Zoe Burns getting her first NSL start here. It's really been Burns and Sarah Strategakis who've been sharing some minutes as both get up to that full game play. Of course, Sarah Strategakis getting her second NSL start on Saturday and getting her first ever goal assist. Melissa Dagenet was quite active in that first half. She made 3 saves. The last time she faced AFC Toronto, it was a very important shutout, but she only needed to make 2 saves.
It's well done by Small.
In comes Burns, trying to find the middle.
We've said Nikki Small's name a few times in this matchup, but not like we're used to. We're typically used to seeing speaking her name very, very often in the attack. But as we've seen, the attack hasn't been too dangerous overall, I would say, from either side as far as being able to execute. But Nikki Small has been huge for breaking up play for them defensively. She's a player that always gets stuck in, as you're seeing. She's going to double back, obviously getting a foul drawn against her there. But she's just somebody that always comes up big for this Toronto team, whether that is in the attack and she's the one playing the ball through or scoring the goal as we've seen her do, or defensively she's putting her body on the line and really going through it.
I know it's not all about the statistical production, but you're looking at a player with 4 goals, 5 goal assists on the season already. She has started and played in all matches for AFC Toronto. That also counts for something. You're gaining that experience in this league. So for Nikki Small, she has faced Ottawa 4 times, including tonight, and that isn't the case for all the players on the pitch. Of course, they've changed out, some of them recent signings as well. Small getting after it. Cathro. Find that support from Regan. They force a little deeper into their own half here. Looking for a way out. Desi Scott gets her head on the ball. Scott had some really nice breakups. Great play disruption in that first half. Chu, patience, able to do the most with some small space, and Florence Belzile, who is threatening in the first half. Tries to make another go of it.
We're also seeing Toronto opt to that 5-3-2 in defensive shape. They're making sure not to give Ottawa any time and space because they know the threat that they do bring. But you're seeing both Burns as well as Barnett really hang back and stay tight to keep that structure compact.
Pridham and Chu exchanging some high fives. Chu's a funny one too. I loved that Korean phrases chat she had. Molly Erickson, certainly.
We'd all be lying if we said we wouldn't say some silly things to our friends that
Absolutely, that's
didn't
part
understand
of it,
the
right?
language.
All right, an important corner here for Ottawa. It's the third, or check that, the second of the match only. Both of them for the Rapid. Can they make good on this set piece? Forbes with the delivery. Still dangerous. Scott got a touch on it, but Cotillard able to recover there.
It's a great delivery in by Forbes, but just not enough behind Scott's touch there. She tries to redirect it towards frame, but again, doesn't quite get enough contact with it to create anything dangerous or test Cotillard.
Harrison Small, 1v1. Gives Toronto some space here to just breathe a little. I mean, between these two teams in their last 2 meetings alone, 7 goals, 4 one way for Ottawa and then 3 the other for Toronto. But it was a 2-1 final score at TD Place back in April. And given the evolution of these teams, what can they do? Pridham hits the post, another chance now for Forbes. This time, luck on the Toronto side.
Give Pridham an inch and she will take a mile. This is a great turn by her, and she strikes it. Quick release. That's not an easy thing to do. You see Soto's right there, but Pridham has a quick release off the post, and then Forbes, the touch just gets away from her. I don't think she was expecting it to drop directly at her feet, but that is exactly why Pridham is #1 in the league in goals right now. She makes things happen, whether she has time and space or you're right there.
Even she knows, okay, I should have had that. It was oh so close. Ottawa, well, they weren't fully burned the first time getting the post.
I was going to say, would have been a second goal off the post. That post is their best friend today.
I guess they just have to be ready now for that, given the way things have been going. Chew. That's a foul there on Soto.
You see no argument from Soto. She knew exactly what she was doing. Just a tactical foul. She was about to get away. Why not try it? Why not go in and see if you can get away with it, as it is quite far out? But nonetheless, this is still a dangerous opportunity for Ottawa, because we have seen them capitalize on set pieces from all different areas of the pitch.
Well, we had a chance to speak with Soto before the match, and she talked about what they needed to do. They need to stay compact, communicate. I feel like they're successful in that so far. Another chance, opportunity rather, for Ottawa. A kick, Forbes. And it just sails right through past the end line.
Seen a lot of red shirts on that, again showing the compactness and how turned on Toronto is today. Defensively, they know what has to be done, and they're making sure to have numbers around the ball at all times.
Kota yard. Coach Marko Milanovic saying confident, bordering on arrogant, but he likes that. He wants someone who knows their ability. Players just needing a moment here. Barnett having some words.
Yeah, you're seeing the intensity that Pridham brings. She didn't want Cather to create anything out of that and really break out of the back, but she absolutely leveled her there. Cathro needing a minute to just collect herself and get back up. And we know Ashley Cathro is not somebody that goes down easily.
A look there at the Ottawa sideline. Cathro able to get it midfield. DB Pridham booked for that one, by the way, has a yellow card now. So Ottawa with 2 yellow cards in this match. Started early. Liv Scott with the other one early on. We've seen things get heated before. In fact, the last meeting, it was Toronto's team manager assessed a yellow card. So you never know what you're going to get. How about this? A threat, but it's steered away from the goal. We have a substitution, our first substitution of the match, and Esther Okoronkwo. We weren't sure if we were going to see her this match. We talked about the load management. She had a great match on Saturday. Jade Kovacevic settling down. She's played well in this match, but Okoronkwo coming in, and of course it was a big return Saturday after winning the Women's Africa Cup of Nations with Nigeria, the Super Falcons as they're known.
Okoronkwo might be that much needed flair right now for Toronto to really bring that final piece of the puzzle together. Her and Hunter have created a very fun partnership to watch and to commentate on, but also just as a fan, you love to see it. They complement each other very well. Okoronkwo is great off the front, allows Hunter to really get in behind, but also Okoronkwo has the ability to get in behind and break those lines, and Hunter has the ability to come off the front, but they have created a fun partnership, so I'm excited to see what they can bring in these final these final minutes.
Well, they already celebrated Hunter's goal together, Hunter going over to the sideline after that first one. And just to put a little fine point on this, Okoronkwo comes back after missing 4 matches, and of course very busy during that international window. and earns a goal assist. She now has 4 straight goal assists in her last 4 matches. All of them have been wins. So Toronto is 4-0 when Esther Okoronkwo gets a goal assist. Right now, of course, defending Burns over Dakota Yard. Ottawa still creating that pressure, building up here. Unfazed, of course, by the substitution, but Okoronkwo in the middle there. Harris to play it back. Small with great move. Space for Emma Regan to bring it up. To the far side, now Burns.
Well defended by Belzile to get back there and not allow Burns any time and space to try to find Okoronkwo, who wanted that.
Forbes and Pridham trying to connect here in transition. Pridham goes down, battles back up immediately, finds Forbes still. Now Mina Lee with the goal already. She goes down, there's the whistle.
We're seeing that feistiness and that grit from both of these teams that we knew we would see. You're seeing a lot of transitional moments, and both teams are getting back to try to shift the momentum in their favor. But right now we're seeing a lot of back and forth. Both of them want to get that second goal on the board before the other, and we're definitely seeing that heart out there.
Still 1-1 as we entered this second half. If you're just tuning in, you're watching the Northern Super League, presented by BMO, the official bank of the NSL. In the 63rd minute here, beautiful August evening in Ottawa. Of course, the players feeling that heat. 26 degrees is a cool down from what it has been, but still a very warm summer night as we get set up here. Crowd trying to rally on Ottawa. Rapid looking for the first lead. Harris plays it up, it's headed out. Okoronkwo with a touch. Up now for Small. Staying in. Small plays it up ahead for Okoronkwo. Talked about that transition game. Looking for the middle there. Great defense by Ottawa.
We did speak about that transition game, Daniela, and that was a full display of what these players can do. Nikki Small with a great individual effort here, but you also see Okoronkwo and Hunter making their runs from inside their half, wanting to get on this ball. You see Okoronkwo look up, she notices Hunter is wide open, but Liv Scott does well to collect that under-hit pass. But nonetheless, that is the threat that these players bring, and that's the partnership that they have started to create as these games continue on. So definitely a big threat now that Okoronkwo and Hunter are up there. Nikki Small getting involved in the attack, helping to create things as she always does as well.
Well, prior to the season even starting, Liv Scott was billed as a force in one-on-one situations. We see that from number 18 on the Rapid side. Quick turn by Okoronkwo. She's not holding back. Of course, fresh legs for Toronto, the first substitution so far only of the match.
Seeing that patience in choosing what pass to make for it to be the right one.
Great header to clear once more. Toronto pressing. Burns across the face of the goal, again off the head for Ottawa. Desi Scott gets a touch. Some great lofty passes up over. Trying to move that ball quickly. Toronto looking to regain the lead. Toronto trying to build in, working from the far side. Great patience here. Rollins, and it's off Burns. Harrison, Liv Scott. Trying to set up here for the Rapid. This is the 4th Battle of Ontario, and it started out fiery and fast. Just a little change of tempo here, but maybe not for long as Small has to find a way in. Desi Scott
coming over to break up play as she usually does.
Just unfazed, calm, cool, collected. Yeah, that's my space. I'll take it up.
But to your point, Daniela, yeah, we are seeing a bit of a shift. We're seeing patience from both sides in trying to choose the moments to go forward, as I mentioned before, which is important. Except there has to be more pace in the passing. You can't simply play it slow back and forth and allow a team like Toronto or a team like Ottawa to really stay true to their structure and just shift comfortably in that block. You have to tempt them. Somebody has to step out and pull out of the structure for you to be able to manipulate them and create something dangerous out of it.
Colby Barnett with a kick. Beautiful curl there. Keeps the attack alive here for AFC Toronto. Chu doing good work to defend in close.
See Nikki Small collecting that. Cathro attempting to get a shot off.
And now we have our first substitutions for Ottawa. There'll be 2 of them, Nicola Golan and Emily Amano, rather. Of course, this is Amano's 2nd NSL game. She made her debut on Saturday. Played 14 minutes, so she'll have a little bit more time here potentially in this match. And the crowd cheering off Florence Belzile, who I have to say, I thought she was almost due for a goal the way she was playing, doing all she could, of course, stepping in as a starter after Stella Downing was injured during warm-up. She wasn't a listed starter to begin with. Desi Scott, of course, getting the love from the crowd, a veteran, as Emily Amano comes in. She's from Ottawa as well, graduate of Colgate University. She's played in Sweden and Iceland. She's so happy to be back in her hometown. Maybe she will be the hero, the difference maker for the Rapid.
That would be something special, that's for sure.
So up and over and rolling out. Look at Melissa Dagenet, who hasn't been quite as tested here in the second half. Kayla Adamick. This is her 3rd match played against AFC Toronto. Small to Burns. Burns. Some great skill to read. Loading the Rapid onto the near side. Small to Rollins. Toronto with decent possession here in the second half. Once again, rolling out at the end line.
There has to be recognition from center backs and when to play that direct ball, and if there is enough space for a forward to occupy to be able to break the line and get on that. Rollins sends the ball in. Okoronkwo not able to get there. Of course, it runs out of bounds, but nonetheless, there's just not enough space for her to get in behind and get on that ball and create something dangerous. So there has to be better recognition from the center backs in their decision making and when to play that ball over the top or simply keep it and continue to find a player's feet.
Gibson back to Scott. Harris can hear Katrina Peterson, team manager for the Ottawa Rapid, head coach. Some words from the sideline. For Ottawa, coming away with points in this match is huge. Of course, 3 is really Of course it's what you want. You want the victory, but more than that for Ottawa, that sets them up for such a great position to move up the table. They have Montreal next on Saturday. Those are their two higher ranked opponents. Montreal in second, Toronto in first. Right now, AFC Toronto has a little bit of room to breathe here. They're 6 points ahead of the Roses. But if this is the final score, if it is a draw, that 1 point is still huge for the #1 ranked team, because then suddenly you're 7 points ahead. That's 2 full victories.
You're seeing there, Daniela, that is where that pace needs to be picked up between the center backs, between Liv Scott, between Harris. The ball needs to move quicker. So that way you have options with Toronto being shifted. Instead, you're forced to send a ball into Pridham in the air. There's not much she can do with a very organized Toronto back line.
Okoronkwo looking for the first goal of the second half. Okoronkwo. Liv Scott able to use her legs there and defend.
It's well defended by Liv Scott. She's come up big a few times for Ottawa. She's very good 1v1, as you've mentioned. That's something that we've seen from her this entire season. And, you know, and Esther Okoronkwo is definitely somebody you want to shut down when she's inside your 18-yard box.
That ball could have been a threat there. No one seemed to flinch. They knew it was headed out. So from day to night at TD Place, sun is set. We have a corner for Toronto. Emma Regan getting ready to deliver, having some words. There's been very few corners in this match. Ottawa had 2. It's the second here for AFC Toronto.
This is a big opportunity. Set pieces have proven to be something that has been the demise of some teams in games, and as well as that helping hand that's needed. So this is a big moment for Toronto.
To regain the lead. Established early in the first half, but it's headed out. Great play by Chu. Really has been some great headers, not only to score goals, but to keep goals at bay. But Kaylee Hunter has the ball now, looking to thread it through, trying to find Esther Okoronkwo. She was ready for the volley there, trying to take it out of the air.
It's a great ball by Soto.
Okoronkwo showing off her skill. Finding a way in once more. Hunter was right there. Cathro, patient. It's just high. Nikki Small, right where she needed to be.
You see some great combination play between Barnett and Okoronkwo. That's been something that's happened time and time again on that left side for Toronto since Okoronkwo has come in. Nikki Small not able to get over that. Pickett, I would have loved to see Pickett strike that. Just strike it on goal. You know that she's a player that can score. We've seen her score a great goal, but definitely would love to see that confidence.
So Pickett is out as in comes Sarah Stratigakis. And Sarah, it's not tucked in today. We were talking to Stratigakis earlier this week about why or how she tucks in her kit, and she said early in this NSL season for her, she just felt like it was a way to not fidget and kind of a throwback to her childhood days, but wearing it loose tonight. In comes Ottawa. Nicola Golan, she subbed in here in the second half. Can she be a difference maker? Pridham to Gibson. Up high, my goodness, we've seen the goals from distance that time. Not a threat for Ottawa. We also saw Chloe Uddenberg sub in. Zoe Burns done for her first NSL start, but Uddenberg, watch for her. She was subbed in the 84th minute against Ottawa in what was an already 2-0 lead for Toronto, but she went out there and scored that third goal, so she can be a difference maker even late in the match. We're in the 76th minute. This 1-1 score is how it's stood just before extra time in the first half. And it was Mina who just had a touch. Finds Pridham. Pridham with a step ahead. Great play by Soto. She has been on number 22, but Pridham, watch for those turns. She's so quick. We've seen the quick release already. Gibson in heavy Toronto traffic.
It's well done by Pridham to get a bit of a step on Soto, but Soto recovers so well, and she's done that time and time again. We spoke about how she was frustrating Pridham in the first half, but here's another look at it. Pridham looks up, attempts that shot, but Soto does well to get her foot in front of it, not allowing anything dangerous to come from it, but Pridham recollecting it and attempting to create something once again, which just shows her drive and her determination to make something happen for her team.
Really felt that Ottawa has come out very determined, very strong to set the tone here. They want this. Forbes. It's up. Harris is there, but it's sky high.
It's a great ball in. It drops perfectly, and you see Harris, she wants to get on that. She times it where she's able to get there, but Okoronkwo is not going down without a fight, and that ends up going out for a goal kick in the end. So Okoronkwo winning that battle, but Harris right there, very close opportunity.
Great physical matchup between Harris and Okoronkwo. And this is, not that we are predicting anything, but just to open up this discussion. If the game does result in a draw, it'll be the first time these two teams have had an even score to finish, and it would only be Toronto's second draw ever. They're a team that loves to win. They've won the most with 10, and the rest have been losses except for one. In the NSL, a victory is worth 3 points in the standings. You earn 1 each for a draw, nothing for a defeat.
Forbes foul. Stratigakis there, who's attempting to get away from her using a bit of her finesse and foot skill, and she's somebody that can definitely help bring that flair that's needed to the attack, late in this game, and potentially bring Toronto their second goal.
Small coming in. Stratigakis to Regan, patient, and it's just booted out quickly there by Amano. Touched on briefly, of course, having her NSL debut Saturday.
Nice turn by Uddenberg there.
Small. There's the whistle, and Small wondering, what? Really? When I finally had my chance?
There has to be an aspect of patience when you're making that run, especially when you are out on the flank and you're able to look across that line and see where the defenders are. It has to be better from Small there, just in her timing, because there is a dangerous opportunity that can come out of that, especially when the ball is at someone like Nikki Small's feet.
Toronto's first offside of the match, though. It's been 4 offsides for the Rapid, as we are in the 80th minute. Sense of urgency here as both sides look for the go-ahead. We expected both clubs to be ready, as they are the top 2 offensively in the league for goals for. Cotillard coming way out. Ottawa, a little backheel pass. Nicola Golan looking for a way in. Draw some attention her way. Chu. Great footwork. Quick passes. Golan gets it back once more. In comes Harris. Golan. Some great possession there for Ottawa.
Golan is another player that we haven't seen too much of her, I would say, this season, but when she has stepped in, she stepped up big for them. She has great feet. She's able to use both feet at that, but she brings a physical presence. She has a high IQ. So she is definitely someone that can help ignite that attack and get that second goal for them. You saw her attempt to get the ball in a couple times there, the opportunity not presenting itself, that spacing just not right, with some great defending by Toronto as well, credit to them. But she's definitely a threat. She can bring that offensive threat that is needed.
Toronto moving quick here on the throw-in. Okoronkwo patient. Coach Milanovic saying he'd still like to see Okoronkwo run more. They even have a little bit of a laugh as she said, hey, I ran a lot with the Nigerian national team. He's like, not really. We'll see. Meanwhile, Mina Lee coming in. She already has 1 goal for Ottawa. What can she do here? Pridham. Smart play, and it is just on the near side.
You see Pridham again, she's looking, and she has a nose for goal, so she's going to try to make something happen, pulls out the moves here, but again, Soto coming up big for Toronto and shutting her down last second to not allow that shot to get on frame. Now, of course, this leads to a corner kick, so there is an opportunity in that for Ottawa, but nonetheless, Soto has come up big today for Toronto and shutting down Pridham.
So far, set pieces have been unsuccessful for either side. Is this one the difference? Delivered by Forbes, kept out by Cotillard. There's the whistle. And absolutely, Ottawa's going to want some words for that. As a Rapid player went into the goal area with Cotillard on that, battling for the ball.
Yeah, there's definitely some contact there. I believe it was a mano that's on her. It's kind of hard to tell from that angle, but a bit of contact on Cotillard. She's not able to come out and challenge that.
Well, we just saw Forbes deliver that corner kick. She'll be subbed out for Johanna Friedland. And Julia Benatti will be subbing in for Mina Lee, who of course has done all she can for Ottawa in this match. She scored that equalizer in the 44th minute. So late in that first half. It's Benatti's 14th game played. Johanna Friedland from Norway, her 12th match played here in the NSL. She has 2 goal assists on the season. And she has played in all 3 previous meetings against AFC Toronto, so very familiar. Time winding down here for both clubs. Also a substitution for Toronto, and a big one at that, as Lauren Rowe comes in for Kaylee Hunter. So both of the goal scorers in this match have subbed out. Pridham just laughing that one off. No substitutions yet for DB Pridham. And maybe not at all in this match as they look to close it out. They want those 3 points. Big victory here. Okoronkwo trying to find that support.
Some good defending by Small again. You see Freeland try to play a bit of a cheeky pass around her and then recollect it, but it doesn't quite go her way.
You can always tell the fresh players. Friedland is just full of energy down at the bottom of the screen, getting ready here to set up Ottawa. Nicola Golan as well. Subbed in the second half. It's the ball up. But Colby Barnett will just let it roll out.
It's well done by Barnett. She's somebody that she adapts well during games, and she brings that energy, and we've spoken about that, but she also has the recognition of what needs to be done from her in her role, and she recognizes when she has to stay and when she has to hold or when she has to get forward and provide that overload for her team in the attack. But just a very high IQ player, and she understands what needs to be done. Very adaptable.
Beautiful goal kick there. Toronto, they struck first. Can they do it again?
So Stratigakis bombing forward, having a bit of a non-verbal communication with Lauren Rowe for her to get into that space, and so Stratigakis can continue to run forward more centrally.
Lauren Rowe, of course, getting some great starts with AFC Toronto, especially while Esther Okoronkwo was away on her international duty. Of course, famously scoring a game winner in her NSL debut. Coming off the bench, so that's a spark in these players. Ottawa to get back on the attack here. Time continues to wind down, and a big reaction to that play. Emma Regan.
The reactions are my favorite, but I don't think there was much in that at all. Based on, you know, that first time watching it through, it looked like a pretty clean tackle. So I see that frustration from Regan. I think Toronto has done well to keep the threat of Ottawa at bay, but they're struggling right now to connect that final pass. Their buildup is there, but it's that forcing of a long pass, or the run and the ball are just not going in the same direction. They're not on the same page. So there has to be, in these final minutes, that connection, that cohesion that's missing for Toronto, because they're doing well right now to shut down the threats that Ottawa has been creating.
They've been known to pounce. We saw some opportunities earlier. Okoronkwo just can't get ahead of Liv Scott. Scott able to outrun, win that battle.
I believe it was Pridham that came from an offside position. Not too sure who it was, but someone coming back from an offside position.
Soto. The far side, trying to create some space here. Looking for a through ball. Okoronkwo beat once more. We are in the final minutes here. Don't expect many more will be added again. It's been a fairly fluid game, not too many stoppages. There's only a minute of added time in the first half. If either side is going to strike, now is the time.
There's a whole lot of back and forth. They've both done very well to disrupt the flow of either team in their build-up, and both have been lacking that extra bite in that final decision or final pass and the execution of being able to actually strike and get it into the back of the net.
Nikki Small, who had her chances, was in the right position. It just went high above the bar earlier. Can Toronto make it happen here? In the 89th minute, Dagenet with a quick read on that one. She looks to send it deep ahead.
You see some footwork there from Barnett, who plays it through to Uddenberg, but it just rolls right into Dagenet's hands.
Toronto has the ball, but there is an Ottawa player down on the pitch, so a whistle. It's Pridham, of course. Pridham now maybe buying a little bit of time, but not quite. I mean, it's been a very physical back and forth here. Here's that contact. Ashley Cathro. Seemed to be a bit of a momentum stopper there. Now Toronto. Uddenberg to the far side. We will have a minimum of 3 minutes of extra time here. Will that be enough for a game winner? Nikki Small to Rowe. Rowe puts it up. Teams need to move quick here.
Seeing Nikki Small again here, very active and getting on the ball, and Lauren Rowe does well to get this ball across, and Utterberg tries to get there, but Adamek is there, and she ends up making contact with Adamek instead of the ball.
Kudos to the defense today, both sides. It's been some really great 1v1s.
Absolutely. There's been some great defense on display today. I think offensively, both of these teams have proven in the past that they have so much variety and so much bite in their attack, and that grittiness and the resilience to make things happen. Obviously, both scoring here today, but overall, I would say lacking that typical quality we're used to seeing from them and that cohesion in the final third to really execute things.
Game started out with just a really energetic back and forth, and that's why we ended up in that draw at the close of the first half. A minute 30 into stoppage time. Benatti with a touch for Ottawa. Up now Friedland. Fresh legs. To Adamek. Trying to find that space on the far side. Toronto smothering. The throw in to Okoronkwo. Ball stays in bounds, but Okoronkwo doesn't, so a foul there. Ottawa with the lead rather on fouls in this match. Otherwise fairly even when you consider how many set pieces each team has had. Very close. So the same number of opportunities. Soto. Quick work to get the ball up ahead. Settling it back, playing it in. Okoronkwo watching, but Dagenet. Great save, a good clear.
We spoke about wanting players to bite when you have a team that's really stuck in their formation and they're in that block. You want to make that team bite, and you saw there Benatti stepping forward, and it really started the attack for Toronto and being able to create something out of it.
Well, how about this DB Pridham going off in what is likely the final seconds of this match? In comes Jasmine Wilkinson. Pridham doing all she could, trying to set up some great play, but that will be full time. And a 1-1 draw, the first ever between AFC Toronto and the Ottawa Rapid. The home team rallying to even the score after Kaylee Hunter nets her 10th goal of the season, getting the only lead of the match as well. But neither side trying to find a way to that 3-point victory. This is just the second ever draw for the league leading AFC Toronto, both with Sierra Cotillard as goalkeeper, while Ottawa earns its 4th draw on the season. Of course, Katrina Peterson going out there to shake hands, Marko Milanovic. And it has been a very long road stretch for Toronto, 3 straight road matches, and they've come away with points in all of them. It was 2 straight victories and then this draw.
I think they're going to want some of those opportunities back. Both teams definitely wanting some of those opportunities back, but we had a full display of some good defensive work on both ends.
And here's how the game shook up. Shots on target, even aside their 4-4. Total shots for the Rapid, 12-7. And then that possession really evening out throughout the 90 minutes. Yellow cards,
even.
just 2 for Ottawa. Yeah, incredibly even game. Even the corners, that kind of started out as the Rapid getting those advantages. also evened out.
Yeah, it did even out. I would say that you saw the Rapid come out strong, and they brought that energy, and they created some opportunities. They weren't able to finish them, and that momentum shifted. Kaylee Hunter getting on the board, Ottawa coming back, just a bunch of excitement. But again, a lot of hecticness as well in that decision making, and in the end, obviously walking away with a tie, so there's something to be happy with a point there. But I'm sure they would want some of those opportunities back.
Well, here's how the NSL standings shake out after this first match of Week 18. You have AFC Toronto firmly in first, now 7 points ahead of Montreal. That's actually huge when you consider what a difference just that 1 point makes there. But of course, matches in hand for both Montreal and Ottawa, who will play each other as the first match of a doubleheader on Saturday. Calgary then hosts Halifax at 4 p.m. Toronto gets one more day's rest as they'll finally head home and host the Vancouver Rise in a rematch at BMO Field Sunday. It's the CNE game. Kaylee Hunter, still the lone Toronto goal scorer at TD Place. She manages to get her team on the board first, but it ends in a 1-1 draw. Thanks for joining us for NSL Soccer, presented by BMO, the official bank of the Northern Super League. On behalf of Jessica Lisi and the NSL, I am Daniela Ponticelli. A 1-1 finish. The crowd loves it on K-pop night in Ottawa. Have a happy Wednesday and see you soon.